Hello, I'm Eileen Roche, and I am just thrilled to be back here today. I've been out for a couple weeks, and I've missed everybody. I had COVID, and I've survived. I had kind of a bad case, but because of the dear help of my son-in-law and my daughter and my son, I got through it, and I am very grateful to be here today. So we are going to talk all about stitching for children, and we're going to take a tour, kind of a unique tour of the small town charms, because I have a guest that's joining me, and she will take us into software and show how you can make changes. I know many of you are already doing that. So for those of you who haven't attempted to do it, she'll give you some good tips on how to do it. So everybody, let me know where you're watching from. It's so nice to have you here. Hello, Joanne Banco. It's great to have you on board here today. And Chris Yost. Oh, we're going to be showing your small town charm, Chris. And we're so excited to do that. And aloha, Judy Warren. Thanks for praying for me. I appreciate it. I am all better. I am completely healed, thank goodness, and delighted to be in good health right now. So without further ado, I would like to welcome Ashley Jones. Ashley Jones is our lead educator. Hello, Ashley. How are you?
I'm good. How are you, Eileen? It is definitely good to have you back.
Thank you. Thank you. I am thrilled to be here. And I'm really appreciate, Ashley covered for me while I was out in numerous other capacities. So I'm grateful for all the assistance that she did. And Deborah Jones, oh my, she really carried a lot of weight also. So, our friend from Carolina, Finlay from Northern Ireland is here. It's great to have you watching with us today. And everyone, really, I am fine. I'm better. And just great to be back here. So Ashley, you've been so busy doing virtual events for Dime all over, for our dealers across the country. Yeah. And you do them all online so people can watch from the comfort of their home, right?
Yes, and I think it's also good too, not just that they get to watch from their own home, but I think a lot of times our in-store events, people have challenges getting there due to work or transportation issues or just physical challenges. And so I feel like we've reached so many more people that we haven't been able to reach just by going to stores. So I love that.
Yeah, and you do a great job. I mean, people really, they come away from your event with a lot of knowledge and definitely inspiration. So, that's awesome.
Thank you.
But today we're going to talk about stitching for children. And of course, we have a product that we're going to feature. But before we do that, you're also going to show us some inspiration and so forth. So I think I'm just going to let you take it away.
Okay, well, sounds good. So thank you. So yeah, I love stitching for children. And in fact, I have run a small embroidery business, just, word of mouth kind of thing. And children's stuff was the majority of what I did. Everybody loves to have personalized things for children. So I've got some tips for stitching on children's clothing, just in case you haven't ever done that or you're curious. So one of the main things is choosing a stitch that is a design that's a low stitch count. Applique is perfect for that. Run stitches, you can see like this. I stitched this cute little onesie and bib for a baby that had deaf parents. So those run stitch hand signs, things that are low stitch count, so it's not so stiff and uncomfortable for the little guys to wear. Also like kind of like a theme or what they are in love with or what excites those kids. So using those ideas to choose your design is always a huge hit because then the kid is excited about it. But also adding things with texture, they're so tactile as they're getting older. So adding things, ribbons, that's corduroy fabric in my little gumball machine there. So just choosing that design based on their interest, and then maybe adding some different textures in the fabrics that you choose, especially in the applique. The other thing that is really important is choosing the right stabilizer. So we all know that stabilizer choice is very important in all the things that we do. And when you're stitching for children's wear, a lot of what you're stitching on is knit, so it has stretch to it. So using something like this fusible no-show stabilizer is perfect for children's wear. It's lightweight, it's super soft for a cutaway, and it's sheer. So a lot of things that we stitch on for kids are white, so they can be bleached when they get dirty. So the sheer stabilizer doesn't show through the shirt there. Also, the fusible prevents stitching as well, or stretching of the knit. And then the Fuso Soft, and I'm going to show you guys these under the camera as well. So Fuso Soft, if you've ever stitched for a person that has sensitive skin, so not just children, but this is a great product to iron on the back of the embroidery design to keep that scratchy feeling off of their skin. This is a light tricot product, which is fusible, and it's a permanent bond. So it's ultra soft, and it's also great for fabrics that ravel really easily. So like your silks, satins, you can use this as an interfacing, and it's nice and soft. And then like Eileen said, we featuring a special product, which is our Children's Perfect Placement Kit. So we are talking about how to get that perfect placement on these children's items. So this kit comes with 16 different templates to help you with that. And I'm going to show you how to do that under the camera as well. And so to use this, it's super simple. To get that perfect placement on that jumper, you're basically going to work on your flat surface, which we always want to do, and then use the matching template to the item. Of those 16 different templates, choose the one that's perfect for that item. You'll use a target sticker, which you get inside of the perfect placement kit. And then when you have that all marked, you'll be able to hoop it and know that you're going to get your design land in the exact right spot. So I've got another item that I don't have in my slides here that I just pulled in kind of at the last minute, and that is the hoop guard. So Eileen, don't you just love the hoop guard? I mean, where would we be without it?
I know, the first one that we developed was for quilting, right? The metal one that holds, the quilt roll out of the sewing field. But after that, we discovered that it would be really great to also create one for standard hoops, because many people, like to use their standard hoops, and you want to open up that sewing field. So here's a great example of it in use with a onesie.
Yeah, and like you said, it keeps your fingers out of the way. And this is great for other items that are nested around the hoop as well. It just kind of creates that extra set of hands to hold that out of the way so you're not using your fingers. So and then like Eileen said, it just fits your standard hoops. So no matter which brand you're working with, it fits in between the inner and outer ring there. And so, yeah, keep your fingers safe. So say you choose the emergency room.
It's a flexible plastic, so it really melds to the shape of the hoop. It's the hoop that allows it to stand up rigid and hold open that sewing field.
And you're
and you get 4 in a pack, because they're not going to last forever. I mean, we never use more than 2 at a time, right, Ashley?
Yeah, that's all that's necessary, especially for these smaller items. And then you can see I have my hoop kind of turned, so it would be attached to your embroidery unit. And so you can see these would be on either side of your needle. So they're out of the way of your stitching field.
Right. And then, you just kind of flatten the onesie down to clear that foot and needle as you attach it to the machine. Yeah, it's awesome. I love that. It just creates a kind of a hole. It's kind of like a barrel around the sewing, the foot and the needle. So it's awesome. Yeah, we love that hoop guard.
Yeah, definitely a great item. So I was also going to show the actual use of the perfect placement kit for the children's wearables. So do you want me to go ahead and show that now, Eileen, for how to use the template?
Yeah.
All right, sounds good. So I'll head back under my camera here. And so I want to show you, so this is the perfect placement kit for children's wearables, and it comes with 16 different of these templates, and I'll show you how to use them. But also in this kit, you're going to get a CD that has instructions for using these different templates, but you also get on there 2 embroidery alphabet that are perfect for stitching on children's items. So those are all on your CD that come in the kit.
Yeah. Well, actually,
you also get
we've updated that product, so it no longer, I don't believe it comes with a CD anymore, but there's a slip of paper in there with a link to download the instructions and also those fonts. So when you receive if you receive your package and it doesn't have that CD, look for that piece of paper that has the link and the explanation on where you can go to download those items.
Awesome. And that's so much better to anyway, Eileen, because if anything ever gets updated, then it's easy to update the digital file so somebody can reobtain that. So I love that. And not many people have CD-ROMs anymore either.
Yeah, my last 2 computers didn't have a CD drive. So, you know, we kind of, I think here in the building, we have 1 CD, drive, an external drive that we pass around when needed.
I can totally relate. So, well, thanks for letting me know of the update. So perfect.
Yeah. And Candy Bray wants to know, does it work with Apple products? Well, they're just embroidery designs. So absolutely, just like any embroidery designs, and it's a PDF. So you could open it on any Apple product.
Yeah, perfect. Okay. So these are just an image of those 16 templates that come, and we're talking about a variety of different sizes here. And then again, I'm going to show you how to use the target stickers. I'm using my bright yellow target stickers, but it does come with some free target stickers in the kit as well.
Yellow, white, it doesn't matter what color, right?
Nope, they all do the same thing, just the color variation is different. I just already have some yellow ones ready to go. So
I'm going to crosshair.
Yes, exactly. It's so user-friendly, helps you make sure your design is straight and in the right orientation too, right? Yeah, so I have this little shirt here, and I've actually already done a couple of things for my placement. So I've already marked the center. So I folded my shirt in half and I used this straight pin to mark the center. And I've already ironed on that fusible no-show stabilizer that we were talking about. So it's fused on, which is really nice because now when I'm starting to mark and hoop, I'm not worried about my stabilizer moving. But take a look at what it does for me. So to stitch on knits, you want to make sure that they stop stretching while you're stitching. So you can see that as I pull on this where the stabilizer is located, I'm not getting any stretch. So that's going to prevent the stretching while you're embroidering, also while you're hooping. So we don't want to stretch it while we're hooping either. So to use the perfect placement kit, every one of these templates actually tell you exactly how to use them. This is from the perfect placement kit for children's wearable. It says right there. And then it tells me it's for children's sizes 12 to 18 months, and it's a center front placement. This is good for a monogram that is 1 1/4 inch tall. If you're doing something smaller on smaller items, there are different templates for that. So what I do is I just line that up with the curvature of the neckline there, and in the center with my straight pin that's marking the center. And then I've got my target sticker here, and I'm just going to line that up with the crosshair on the template. So then I know that's the spot I need to land that. So now my template's done its job, and you can see this brightly colored sticker here is perfect for helping me line this up in the hoop. So that crosshair will give me the ability to make sure that I'm nice and straight in the hoop so that my design is going to stitch well. So that's marking a shirt. I have a couple of more to show you just because, well, I like to do more than one because you might like to do more than one. So this is another good one. So marking a onesie or a baby bodysuit is another good example, but I'm going to show you there's actually one for the bottom side of it, which I love to embroider on. Same exact process. I've already marked the center and I'm lining that template up. Let me move that up so you can see that a little better. So I'm lining that template up across the bottom, making sure that I'm lined with my center mark. And then you just use your target stickers that come in the kit to mark that opening. Now, if we have anybody out there that has a embroidery machine that uses the snowman sticker, you can actually put your snowman sticker there too, which is a really nice addition. So there's tons of different things that you could mark, but now we're ready to do that bodysuit. Let me show you one more because this one's a little unique. So now if you're wanting to stitch on the corner of a baby blanket, and you can see my template tells me baby blanket, and the instructions are all right here on the blanket or on the template, placing this on the corner with the hem and the size of the design. So I'm just going to open this out here and use my template. Now look at this. I just wanted to show you this because it's a little bit different. We have 3 separate openings. So if you're doing a design that is roughly a 4-inch design, 5-inch or 6-inch design, those are the recommended placements. Now these are not completely open because if we put that big square there, it actually would make just one giant hole. So here's what you do. So use your tweezers. If you have any of those long tweezers, these will help you with the placement. Get your template in the right place. And then you're just going to lift that one side and slide this underneath, lining up that crosshair. And then you've got that mark exactly where you want to land that 4-inch design. So that's just a little bit different. So I wanted to show you that one for sure because it's not just one opening. So it gives you those different sizes for the designs. And then you're going to have a perfectly placed item for your embroidery design. So great gift ideas. So now the last thing I want to show you is I want you to see that Fuse So Soft in person because it is, well, in virtual person, that is. So that Fuse So Soft that we talked about, ironing on the back of the embroidery to make it soft. So look how flexible this is and look how it drapes. So it's not going to change the drape of your knit fabric when you iron this on. And this is great, not just for children's wearables, because some adults are sensitive as well. So I have a little item over here. So look at these cute little glasses. So another good example, an applique. It looks like they're hanging their glasses off the top there. But what you want to do is you want to cut a small piece that is, you know, close to the size of your design. And then you're going to turn your item inside out. And this is after the embroidery is all finished. And then you're going to fuse this with your iron, a dry iron, right over top. It has one side that's rough and one side that's smooth. So you place that down, and when you iron that, it's a permanent fuse. So then it's going to be soft against the skin. So that is the Fuse So Soft. And it is a great item for stabilizing, like we said, you know, fabrics that, you know, ravel a lot or things like this where you're covering embroidery on the back. So a great addition to your stabilizer repertoire. So
And, yeah,
Eileen, what do you think?
Yeah, actually, and that, you know, I love how it's so permanent. In fact, the shirt that I'm wearing, you know, this is one of our vintage makeovers, but, you know, we use that Fuse So Soft to finish the neckline. And I've laundered this thing, throw it right in the washer and dryer, and over and over again, dozens of times. And that's so permanent. It doesn't ravel. It doesn't separate from the base fabric. I love it. It's really very comfortable next to the skin. Great idea for babies, for sure. So one of our viewers, Esther Hopland, had a little disaster recently. She said she tried to stitch on a onesie and the needle broke the material. She said she had it interfaced with Totally Stable. Now, we don't make Totally Stable. I believe that's a Sulky product, so I can't really talk for them. But I'm wondering what kind of needle she used. Like, you know, a onesie is a stretch material, so you should be using a ballpoint needle, right? A sharp is too pointy and will slice the yarns of a knit, and that could possibly cause thread breakage. Do you have any other suggestions for her?
Yeah. Also looking at the design, if your design had maybe 2 dents of some stitches in one spot, sometimes that would cause that issue as well. Yes. And all else fails to fix it. Applique is great to fix stuff like that. So just cover it up.
That's right. Go change that wonderful complex fill design into an applique. Okay, right. Marion Phillips, she says, so do you use the Fuse So Soft as your stabilizer in the hoop and a second layer on top? No.
No, the Fuse So Soft is, well, if you are stabilizing a fabric, it can be. I've used it before to stabilize t-shirts. So especially if you're doing like a quilt from t-shirts. But generally, it is an interfacing that you will use after your embroidery is designed. So choose the right stabilizer for your item, and then the Fuso Soft will be added after your embroidery is done.
Right, absolutely. And Joanne Banco makes a good comment that the Fuso Soft is great to stabilize silk dupioni, because talk about a fabric that ravels. Phew, that just kind of disintegrates into strands of silk, right?
Right. Yes.
Yeah.
I've also used it too, Eileen. Talk about mishaps. And I know a lot of us are always looking for ways to fix our mistakes. But if you've ever snipped that knot accidentally on the back of your embroidery, I will iron a piece of this on the back, and it just makes sure that that doesn't continue to, your stitches to pull out from the front. So it kind of acts as that glue.
Yeah. And I actually use Fuso Soft to stabilize or create a stronger foundation on cotton quilting fabric if I'm going to be embroidering on that cotton quilting fabric. Now, that doesn't mean quilting, but embroidering, like complex fills, satins, heavy decorative stitches, elements like that, motifs. Like my flower box quilt has a lot of large appliques with, heavy satin stitching. And I first treat the quilt block top fabric, right, with a layer of Fuso Soft. And then I add regular stabilizer, and it just gives it a little bit more body. So yeah, it's very versatile. Great product.
Yes, absolutely. And since it's so soft, it doesn't really change the drape. So for your quilting cotton, I love that idea. And then you're not adding something that's really stiff to your fabric.
Right, and then I can go on and use a tearaway, which I can totally remove after I've embroidered and before I really make it into a quilt, sandwich. Yeah. All right. So our special today, of course, the Perfect Placement Kit is only $39.99 with free shipping. And there will be a link. There was a link in the chat that you could use to order, or you just go to our website and use that promo code for free shipping. Well, I had promised that Ashley would do the Small Town Charm tour with me. So why don't we go ahead and get started on that? Because I know many of you have been doing some beautiful small town charms. And just to bring everybody up to speed, this was a program that started in January. And in January, it was the Quilt Shop block. And it comes in 2 sizes. Every month you can opt to do the 5x7 or the larger 7x12. And in February, we had the Sweet Shop, and I called mine Cake Superior. And many of you got very creative on your names, which was super fun. Now, the 5x7 had 2 stories, and the 7x12 only had 1, but each has a 3D awning. And the March was the Dress Shop. And again, the 5x7 had 2 stories, and yet the 7x12 was just 1 with its awning. And last month was the Outdoor Cafe. We got a little bit more creative on this. Both the 7x12 and the 5x7 have a second story. And the Outdoor Cafe, it features, dining on the rooftop, right? And I added some lattice panels to the second story that I was hopeful many of you would decorate, and many of you did. So let's go ahead and take a look at some of them. Marjorie Salisbury Hirschberger. I love her colors, all blue and white. It reminds me of being in Greece. I just love that color combination, or somewhere near the beach. Right, Ashley?
Right, and the balloons that she added, so cute. Yeah. It looks like it's a party.
Adorable, adorable. Okay, then Becky Berlin. Well, we found her March, Becky's Bloomers, and she had a lot of fun. Now, all of those pots and flowers and plants came with the collection, but Becky added some really cool items. She's got, well, first off, under the hanging pot on the left, she's got a spider dangling on the wall, which is pretty cool. And in front of the door, she has a cat and a watering can. And on the door, she has flower power. Really nice. It's so well done. Right, Ashley?
Yeah, I love that. So she did an excellent job. The spider is definitely my favorite, I would say.
I think so. That's so cute. Okay. And then Regina Young, she did her Cakealicious. Is that what it says?
Oh, yeah, I think it is. Yeah. I love it.
I know she did a variegated thread on her potted plants in both the bottom, the blue, and then the top. I think it's a variegated thread, unless she changed it to a motif. But very, very well done. Really, really nice. Yeah. And let's see, people are just, Jackie Cheek says, love it, so cute. And Vicky Seff says, nice job, Marjorie. I love that. And Becky Berlin, love the compliments. I know, I love how people add their own touch to the doors, to the small town charms. Now, look at Alicia Gentry. Wow. There's
She
a lot to
really,
talk about here, right?
yes, she really did a ton of extra work. I love it.
Yeah. So she added her own sign, which is La Vino Bistro. And then the menu board, wine, coffee, and pastry. She added an open sign. She added door handles that we think she stole from an earlier small town charm. Ashley's going to show this in a little bit. But look at her window. So she totally changed the windows, because if you remember, my example had 2 windows, right? Identical, flanking the door. So she moved hers around a little bit and then took the chairs and tables from the second story and put them in the window, and then covered the window with organza to give it, a look like you were actually looking through a window. Really well done. Isn't that awesome? Judy Whitaker says she loves all of Alicia Gentry's shops. I agree. Alicia, well, Judy's shops are awesome too, but Alicia does an outstanding job also.
Yeah, I love that. So impressive. So everyone is so creative.
Yeah, it's really amazing. Now look at this one, Seth's Sweets and Stitches. Okay, well, there's a lot going on here. So above the trellis on the second story, you can see she's got a floral border up there, right? Love the blue umbrellas. But look what she did to her awning. So Ashley, maybe you'd like to take us into software and see how you would do that. You want to?
Yeah, okay. Absolutely.
All right.
So I have the awning design up here, and I was actually just scrolling before we started to see if I could find some cute little designs. So built into the Perfect Embroidery Pro, I know there's a little coffee cup here that we could use as an example, but just to be able to stitch this out. So we want our design, to stitch at a certain point, but just bringing your design onto the awning, making sure it's the right size by resizing it here right in the software. And I was trying to look for some other really good designs to go over there, but I didn't find one that I was in love with in our built-in designs. But of course, any design that you want to use, you could use to bring in. And maybe we just do another design that's a coffee cup. So since we are working with our little bistro here, right? So if I copy it, paste it, I can mirror image it, and then maybe put that a little bit closer and rotate it to look like we're kind of giving a cheers here. Now, on this, the steam is all kind of intermingling, but it's super simple to get rid of that. So you can actually ungroup these designs and then just delete that steam if you want to make your design a little less crowded. So I can just select that to delete it. And then I think there was some text on her awning too. So we could always add text for the name of the bistro or something like that. And so let me delete this one other steam. So I'm just opening up that and just select that steam there and then press my delete key. And then I've got those cute little coffee cups. But you could add text to your awning so that you could maybe name your bistro. So I don't have a cute little name, so I'll just do Ashley's Cafe.
Yeah, that's adorable.
And then, of course, this is a really tiny font, so I would choose one that is a little more appropriate. So these are all of our built-in fonts inside of Perfect Embroidery Pro, and I can just select one that I want and convert that. It'll automatically convert it to my embroidery. So we're scrolling up here toward the top. And once it's stopped rolling, I'll just take a pic here. This is one of my favorite ones. I love the cursive font, but then I could just put the name there and to embellish the little awning. So, and then of course for your stitch order, depending on When you needed this to stitch out, you could simply move this around so that you've got your awning stitching in the right order. So if we take our awning here and we could ungroup, if you've got your placement and then your tack down, you could always separate those out in order to stitch in the order you need, or move this to the end. So it all can be adjusted. So just that simple. What do you think?
I love it. I love it. So Esther Hopland wants to know, can you do that with the basic embroidery tool shed? Well, Esther, embroidery tool shed is a free software. So there's some things you can do. You can size, you could bring in those coffee mugs, and you could bring in some text that you have in another program, I guess, and put it on the awning, but you would not be able to change the order. So that's the beauty of having the full digitizing software. It gives you all the ability to group and ungroup and, move the order around and so forth. But it most certainly gives you the ability to size, which is huge, and print templates, all of that, right?
Right, exactly. And somebody didn't bother to tell me that I misspelled Ashley's. So where is everybody out there? Where am I spelling?
Jackie Cheek said, did you lose an S? So
I did. Thank you, Jackie. Thank you, Jackie. I did lose the S. I failed to put it there completely.
Yeah. I figured, before you hit, send a machine, I would say, oh, you got to add an S. Right?
Yeah, hopefully. So that's the worst, right? You find the mistake after you stitch it.
Yep. Okay, so let's pop over to my PowerPoint, and I'll show you the little Lady and the Tramp that Seth Sweets and Stitches added to that. And it's adorable. Really, really well done. Vicki Seth says she just wishes her awning didn't get so wrinkled. Oh, well, forgive yourself. It's no big deal. We don't judge. No wrinkles here. We don't care. Okay, Deborah Morgan. She added, she chose pink colors, really fun pink colors of her awning, and also the inside, the wallpaper that's shown through the windows. Really very well done, Deborah. Now, Luann McKinder Greenberg has made some changes that are really adorable. So let's look closely at the top. The second story, she added a floral vine to two of the trellis panels, which looks really nice. Also, look at the table on the right-hand side. You'll notice that her coffee mugs are sitting there on the table, and she took them from the bottom table of the first story and moved them to the second story. And she also made some other changes. She's got a cocktail on the table on the second story on the left. Looks like a really fancy cocktail. That's kind of fun. So let's see. And then I think she also named it Only You, which I think is in homage to her spouse. And the year they were married is 1974. Is that what that's? Oh, gosh, I'm sorry. Anyway, that's how many years they've been married. So Ashley, do you want to show us some things in the software, how you could do that?
Yeah, absolutely. So let me bring that back up here, and then let me go over. So I have the top open, and I have the bottom part open. And so let's just copy these cups. So that's one thing that's easy. Because my design is ungrouped, like we were talking about earlier, I can actually select these two cups, and I can either cut them to remove them from down here, or I could have just copied and pasted them. And so let's go back over to our second four, and then I can simply do the paste option here and paste those and then position those right on this table. So super easy to do. So very easy to edit and move those around. So I love that. And of course, since our little umbrella there is blue, maybe I would make my cups some different color. So I could change that, see how I like that bright green. So super easy there. And then if you wanted to add like the roses to the trellis, I think it was a great addition. I don't have any roses picked out, but I do know that built into Perfect Embroidery Pro, we have tons of text designs that are small designs. So there may be something in here that would work that you could always break up, because of course everything is editable. Like this might be a good one. So this letter A here, I could use the flower from this to put along the trellis there. And then you could just manipulate it. So I could, same thing we did before. We can just select the A and delete it. And then you could either use both of these or one of these, whichever you prefer. I'm going to group them back together so I don't lose it. And then another thing that might be a good idea is when you're manipulating your design, say up here toward the top, you might want to lock. Let me do that over here. So if you lock your design, everything that you turn the lock on for, it won't allow you to move it or do anything. So as you're working with these different elements, if you want to make sure the background stays the same, then I would lock that design. So, and then, like I said, just play with it. So maybe we just want to use this half here to put, or on the little trellis there, or maybe this would be cute in a vase on the table. So just, yeah, really cute for embellishment. So what do you think? Let's zoom in so we can see a little bit better there. So there you go.
Yeah, I mean, that's a great start, right? And you could copy and paste and rotate. Yeah, it's awesome. Yeah. Hey, you know, one of our viewers, Connie Moody, just says she just recently did an update to PEP, and now it's Embroidery Tool Shed, and she's a little, you know, concerned, did I lose PEP? So could you go and show her where PEP is now?
Yeah, absolutely.
Okay.
Yeah. So when you do any of our most recent updates, which you definitely want to do because it gives you a lot of times new features or new designs that we've added. So when you update, it's going to basically take your existing software and put it all inside of Embroidery Tool Shed. So down here in the bottom right in the shopping cart, I'm actually working in my Perfect Embroidery Pro, which is highlighted in blue. I can change any of these other pieces that I have to the default, and you'll see that when I do that, it will change the icons across the top. So if I make my Embroidery Tool Shed the default, which is a lot of times what I work in because it puts the majority of my icons all in one place. But basically, your Perfect Embroidery Pro features are there. They're inside of your Embroidery Tool Shed. And the nice thing about that is it actually combines features of the different pieces of software. So if you own more than one piece, it actually puts them all in one place, which is hugely helpful because you don't have to create in one software and then open in another to do those different features that are available. So just take a look here below your Perfect Embroidery Pro. If it's got a check mark beside it, then it is activated and it's inside of your Embroidery Tool Shed. And if you miss that look that you used to see, you can make Perfect Embroidery Pro the default by clicking this ellipsis button here and choose Make Default. And then it'll change your icons there at the top to look like what you're used to seeing in your Perfect Embroidery Pro when you used to open it before we had Embroidery Tool Shed. So you think that clarifies things, Eileen?
I do. Yeah. You know, I think people need to understand that, you know, all Dime software is what we call powered by the Embroidery Tool Shed. And really, you know, we say Embroidery Tool Shed over and over, but you should really think of it as a garage, and all of your tools are in the garage. And those tools are all the different Dime software programs that you have purchased. So today they're under the one roof of Embroidery Tool Shed, as were before. They still are standalone software programs. You don't need one to use another, but they just live in Embroidery Tool Shed. And prior to this change, you had to update every single software program that you owned. And we update pretty often because we have to stay current with both the Apple operating system and Microsoft. So that's the real beauty of the Embroidery Tool Shed. One-click update updates everything at one shot.
Yeah, I agree. And it, like like we said, it combines all those features too. So I described it once as it's like a plate with mashed potatoes and gravy, because we definitely want our gravy on our mashed potatoes. So it puts it all in one place and it's really good to eat. But if you had the gravy separate than the mashed potatoes, well, for one, I'd probably still eat the potatoes, but the gravy, I don't think I'd eat that by myself.
Not by the spoonful. I don't know. And you're a Southern girl. I mean, some Southern people really like to do that. Hey, listen, we're working here. We're not talking about food. Sue S. Brown, you know, our leader of the leader of OML Embroidery, says you can use symbols to find some really cute small designs to add to the charm. There's even a spider.
Oh, perfect. So yeah,
Yeah,
she's referring to a different location in our Perfect Embroidery Pro that
right.
has some cute little
Yeah.
individual designs in there.
So
Yeah.
when we get back over there, maybe we'll take a look. But Judy Whitaker wants to know, how do you know when there's an update to Dime software?
When you open your embroidery tool shed, if there is a newer version, it'll pop up a little box that says there's a newer version and ask you if you want to download it. So you can do it all right there. If you feel like you've missed one, or if you accidentally close out that update and didn't say yes, if you go to help and I think it's update in your software, then
Check
it'll
for
actually check
updates.
for you.
Yeah,
Yeah.
so at the very top of the screen, help is an option, and click on that drop down menu and it'll say check for updates. Yeah. Okay, so who do we have here next? Oh yeah, and then Chris Yost. Let's take a look at Chris Yost. Look how pretty. This looks like a Rubicon Bay Cafe. This, you know, this is by the water with these beautiful pastels, right?
Right. Absolutely. I love it. It looks like a place I want to go.
Yeah, you know, I don't know if you all know this, but Ashley lives in Key Largo, Florida. So, you know, her corner cafe probably looks like this, right? So
Right. Yes.
colorful.
Definitely bright colored.
Yeah. I love the awning fabric that you chose, Chris. That stripe with the little polka dot adds so much character to the awning. Looks really lovely. And a very delicate floral prints you used for both the wallpaper and the building itself. Very well done. And like
Yeah,
those little
I love
animals in the
that.
foreground. Isn't it awesome?
I love that. And I
Yeah.
love how she mixed her prints too, because too
Yeah.
often I think we're nervous to combine different prints.
Mhm.
She did a great job.
Yeah, so you know, when I combine prints, I kind of let the color be the guide. And on a small project like this, because you know, look how tiny the chairs are and so forth. You know, it's the scale of the print that's pretty important, and that's what you need to keep in mind when you're selecting prints to make sure that the scale works for sure. Now, Natalie Bush wants to know, what do you do with these pillows, coffee cup meets, what? Well, here, you know, I use it. We sell this frame, right? It's just this arch frame, and the 7x12 sits on top of it. And this is just kind of like decor in your home. It can sit on a counter or, you know, a small table or something. And you switch them out every month, and they're seasonal. You know, I try to reflect the season in each month that we're doing. Some people make the blocks and then they turn them into a whole quilt. And we have shown some examples of that in previous broadcasts. And we could do that again, maybe not next week, but maybe the following week, show some other ideas. We have seen a tote bag that someone has done. She put the block right on the tote bag as a pocket. That looked adorable, right? And what if some of you ladies in the comments, let us know, what else have you turned your small town charms or your last year's doors into? Because I know a lot of people, you know, the doors they were really fun. They were definitely seasonal, and people changed them out every month. So it was just fun. And can you sell the frames on Amazon? The shipping is too, I can't sell them on Amazon. Sorry, Esther. Doesn't work there. Well, the shipping, Esther's in Canada, so shipping is very expensive. I know for sure, for sure. But let's see. So I want to talk to you about what we're going to be doing next week, because we have I have a really exciting event coming up. But remember, this is today's special. It'll be good all week. And this is our lowest price of the year on the Children's Perfect Placement Kit. So if you do a lot of stitching for children, this would be a very good product for you to have in your sewing studio. It's one that you buy once and you just use it continuously. Every time you reach for a children's item, you will use that. And let's see, Sue Brown, she's making a Sueville wall hanging with the shops all around the square. Oh, I love that, definitely. And Natalie Bush, can you get last year's doors? You can't get last year's doors now. We have pulled them from the website. They were up for, I think, 16 months. And so we have taken them down and kind of put them back into the dime vault, and they were going to be released in a exciting way in the fall. That's all I can tell you. So Ashley, guess who's going to be here next week? You probably don't
Who?
even know.
I
Look,
don't. Who?
Patricia Gates from Purely Gates Embroidery. Oh my, talk about
Love Billy Kate.
sparkle.
Yes.
Yeah. She was
I
here with
love
me
her
last year.
design.
I know. She was here with me last year. We had a blast. That woman put on a trunk show like you can't believe.
Wow.
And she has another one planned for this year. We're going to put a focus on fashion, although if you know Patricia's work, a lot of her work is quilts and pillows and home decor items. And we're not going to ignore them, believe me, because they're outstanding, just beautiful examples. And so I'm so excited. We did a test yesterday to make sure all of our technology would work, and we didn't have any problems. So we're very excited to welcome Patricia back next week at 1 o'clock on May 20th. Won't that be fun, Ashley?
That will be so much fun. And I think this ties into what we're talking about today with stitching on children's items, because most designs that are stitched over Mylar, if they're fill designs, they are loosely dense so that you can see that sparkle. So a design that is too dense, that's a normal fill, to loosen it up and add Mylar would be a nice design to put on children's items as well, because it's a little softer.
Absolutely. That's a great point. That really great tip. I like that. And yeah, she's got some really fun new stuff. In fact, I'm going to be making a t-shirt for myself to wear so that, you know, we sparkle all over, right?
I love it. I can't wait. So I'll definitely join in if I'm not teaching something else.
Okay, sounds good. Well, Ashley, it's always a delight to have you here in the Dime Studio, even though you're far away. And thank you for joining me today and for showcasing our Children's Perfect Placement Kit, and then offering inspiration from those small town charms. And kudos to everyone out there on your beautiful small town charms. We love what we find. Remember, hashtag Dime Sew Along so we can find them. We look for them every week. And great to be back. We'll see you next week. Thanks, Ashley.
Bye. Thank you, Eileen.
Okay.